bloody headset wrong way round. Why ain't no one telling me? Yeah, we're just gonna do that now.
A melody deep, so smooth and so real. In the still of the night, it's where I belong. These midnight blues play my heart song. A final glance at the night so deep, where secrets wander.
Beautiful people on TikTok, please double tap the screen, guys. Share the live for me, please. Let's go.
I don't hold on, I don't refuse, I let it all go in blue, suit blues. This blue suit blues. I don't hold on, it's all I can feel. I don't refuse. Secrets wander.
Beautiful people on TikTok, please double tap the screen, guys. Share the live for me, please. Let's go.
I don't hold on.
Guys, how is the volume on TikTok? Is there any echo on TikTok and YouTube? Please let me know. Please let me know, guys. Oh, what the hell is going on?
It's where I belong. These
No echo. Let's go. Thank you so much. Amy, how you doing, Amy? Thank you so much. Amy was in the first live and in the second live. Amy, I really appreciate you. Don't think that I don't notice these things. Don't ever think that I don't notice these things. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Every single one of you. Friday as well. Thank you so much, guys. Let's go. Send over the heart meat, guys. Double tap the screen. Share the live for me. Let's go.
Just breathe in life.
Come on. Why is it not working? Why is it not working?
So when the silence calls my name,
Yeah, we're starting it smooth. We're starting it smooth today.
I'll do the same. With my blue suit on and nothing to lose, I dissolve into
Is there anyone on YouTube? Anybody on YouTube?
blue suit blues. Hollow wind hums through iron rails, carrying stories the night never tells. I stand there quiet, no need to choose, just letting it breathe. Blue suit blues.
Oh!
Oh, this blue suit blues.
Double tap the screen, guys. Double tap the screen. Let's go.
A melody deep, so smooth and so real. In the still of the night, it's where I belong. faded sand swings in a tight groove, like a worn-out dancer with nothing to prove. I watch it sway, got nothing to lose. Every motion speaks blue suit blues. Oh, this blue suit blues, it's all I can feel. A melody deep, so smooth and so real. In the still of the night, it's where I belong. These midnight blues play my heart song. A scent of rain on a midnight street.
Let's go, guys.
Supposed to be off this week, but obviously I needed to. All right, I'm obviously supposed to be off this week, but obviously I needed to come back because I wanted to address Mr. President Donald Trump. He has obviously arrived at a moment, and I just wanted to hopefully these words will get to him. So I'll just say that, dear Mr. President Trump. I've always been a fan of gladiator movies. I have watched them all countless times. Everybody who watches this podcast knows that. And when I consider what it is that I am so drawn to, like, is it the actors? Is it the storyline? Yeah, in part, of course. Who could deny, like, the performance of Russell Crowe in the first film? But above all of that, the characters, the script, there sits this sort of incontrovertible truth that I am absolutely fascinated by, which is the fragility of empires. Right? What is it ultimately that collapses an empire? What makes an emperor weak or an emperor strong? I think more to the heart of the matter, the question is, what is it that makes a king or an emperor feel threatened initially, right? The setup of every movie is always the same. You have the wealthy elites, the politicians perched above a coliseum, slaves fighting to their deaths beneath, all for their distinct entertainment, obviously. And then comes the inevitable narrative flip. Suddenly, the elites and their scribes and the senators, they perceive a threat. And when does that happen? That's actually not a rhetorical question, Mr. President. I know the answer. It is when a slave begins to command the crowd. Every single time, without fail. That's when the politicians begin to feel worried. And what is of particular interest to me about that moment is that the slaves, on their end, they never desire the seats of the politicians, right? They just want to have their most basic needs met. In most circumstances, they'd happily would serve some sort of structure of governance forever if their basic needs could be met, but it's proven to be a historical impossibility, right? Inevitably, we arrive at the moment of political extravagance, the fabled let them eat cake moment. They just can't stop, right? There can be absolutely no truth between a master and his slave for that reason. The nature of the relationship forbids it. And I think about this a lot now, very often, mostly in the context of our late mutual friend, Charlie Kirk.
And thank you.
I think to myself, when was the exact moment that Charlie Kirk understood that he was not free, that he had money and that he had fame, but he did not actually have freedom? You know, between you and I, whoever it was that made the decision to kill him was correct in their assessment that he was indeed a threat, because Charlie Kirk could command a crowd. He was capable of that. So much so that he actually, if you think about it, he's been dead for 7 months and the crowd still moves on his behalf. That's incredible. That is real power, Mr. Trump. You should ask yourself, how did he achieve it? I would offer it's because he never sat above, perched, looking down at the slaves, right? Charlie understood how movements were built and, more crucially, how they were sustained. Someone actually said to me shortly after his death that Charlie was a maestro. He understood that every instrument was needed to command an orchestra. The strings, the woodwind, the brass, the percussion, all very different sounds, but he could hear them each brilliantly, each section. And at various times, he would conduct one sound above the other, more flute, less violin, more cello. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, different instruments, to be sure. But only a fool or someone under the express direction of one could have thought to hit send on what you published on Truth Social last night. And I think that we should read it together, Mr. President, shall we? Okay, here's what you wrote. You wrote, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They are stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They are nut jobs, troublemakers, and they will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they can get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them. And their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Okay, let's park it there, right? Let's just chew on that portion right there first, because it is a stunning break from reality. Because I'll ask the question, do you have any idea why it was, Mr. President, that your old tweets, the sentences you used to say, which were typically definitely insults back in 2015, but do you ever wonder why they worked? I can help you. Ready? It's because they were rooted in some element of truth. Okay. So if you called Rosie O'Donnell unattractive, or when you said Hillary Clinton should be in prison, it played to the crowd because although many people thought it was inappropriate and beneath the dignity of a politician, it was based in truth. Right? Hillary Clinton's done some things. Now,
Look, I don't want to pause this too much. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Look, I didn't expect Candace to go live today, but I kind of expected her to do a video like this, of course, because the tweet that, not the tweet, but the Truth Social post from Donald Trump is very interesting. I mean, I genuinely don't know how you can support him at this point, seriously. And we're seeing so many MAGA influencers, so many MAGA supporters turning on Trump. I mean, come on, Candace, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly. And yeah, it's like this tweet is just the cherry on top, really. I don't know. It's very strange. He definitely has control of his social posts, Truth Social posts. And for him to say, by the way, that, this region, and he normally talks about the region, although he talks about Iran specifically now, he always sort of looks at the region, Iraq, Iran, all of these places as, they've done nothing for the world. They've done, they're very third world, this and that. Let's not forget the massive contributions. And look, I'm not being biased when I say this, but look at the golden age of Islam. Just do some research. The region of Iraq, Iran was a hub of incredible development, studying. People would send their kids in Europe to study there. Go and do your research, guys. Now it's completely the opposite. They'll send their kids to Europe and America and places like that. But please go and do your research when it comes to the golden age. It's crazy. And for him to not know this, again, it just shows that, unfortunately, people like this is in power of the biggest, I mean, the most powerful nation in the world. And it's not a good look, I'm not gonna lie. Seriously, I've been very quiet regarding Donald Trump and my stance towards Donald Trump, because obviously I know there's a lot of people that support me, that like Donald Trump, and likewise the opposite as well. But at the end of the day, I will always have respect for you guys. You guys can comment. You guys have freedom of will in the chat. Just be respectful, of course. But I genuinely don't know how anybody at this point can support the guy. Seriously. I mean, yeah. It's just this whole Iran war situation is very bad for him, and he will see this in the midterms. He will definitely see what effect this has done to his midterm elections.
Now, you can call Megyn Kelly a great many things. I have definitely had my political disagreements with her over the years. Low IQ? Really? Tucker Carlson, low IQ? Me, low IQ? The three of us unsuccessful somehow? When you write stuff like that, you just demonstrate nothing but your own irrationality. It just doesn't land. Nobody cares about them anymore. Really? You're the leader of the free world and you're tweeting about us. I think that means somebody cares. Actually, what nobody cares about anymore, and what you seem to have an inability to comprehend, is that traditional cable news no longer moves the needle. Cable TV is a dying medium. FDR, he used the radio, right? His voice, the fireside chat, it worked.
Guys on YouTube, can somebody comment, please? Because I don't know if you guys are commenting and I can't see it, or nobody's commented. So if we can comment, please. By the way, guys, on TikTok, we are live on YouTube, guys. Again, I'm going to go live for maybe another month simultaneously on TikTok and YouTube. But yeah, I do want to just end the live on TikTok and then just do YouTube, because it's just better. You guys can see the full live. You can see the display on YouTube. Yeah. So go and follow me on YouTube. Go and subscribe. I don't think I can see your comment. It's either nobody's commenting on YouTube or I can't see the comments. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Thank you so much, Kelly UKG. Hey, Sherry. Hello. Oh, you already started? Yeah, I started, Amira. So yeah, nobody's commenting. I thought there was something wrong with the comments. Hey, Caroline, Sherry. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much, guys. Let's go. It's just the beginning. She just read the tweet, so yeah, we haven't done too much. YouTube channel, yeah, YouTube. Look, just here, guys, live on YouTube at EAB World. If you type in EAB World, you'll find
moved audiences when it was new, and when the world transitioned there, and then suddenly it was the dawn of television. JFK's good looks on the screen that served him.
Let's go. Thank you
and
so much.
He used that. Once again, fast forward to today, and the world is technologically advancing. And you're launching insults at what you don't comprehend. Joe Rogan is not going to do Fox News hits. Do you understand this? He is not trying to get on CNN. None of us are. I don't know how else to help you understand. You are quite literally mocking people because they comprehend something that you don't. Tucker Carlson is more powerful than you. Deep down, I think you know that, and I think you resent that, which is proven by your next lines. Let's read on. You continue, MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Okay. Obviously, Tucker Carlson is in his prime. The whole world understands that. That sentence, he couldn't even finish college. Are you aware that your base is comprised of blue collar workers who never went to college, many who never so much wanted to go to college, never dreamed it? The farmers, the ranchers, the plumbers, the electricians, the people who work with their hands, you now stick your nose up to all of those people. Do you know who else didn't go to college? Charlie Kirk didn't go to college. Those men, many, I would say, a lot of the men and women that you and Pete Hegseth want to send to their deaths in the Middle East, many of them.
I find it interesting that obviously he was going to target Tucker Carlson without a shadow of a doubt. Of course that was coming. That was going to happen. But I find it interesting the way that he targeted him, because wasn't it a couple weeks ago when Tucker Carlson was called to the White House and he was praised by the president. This switch is very quick. Like that's again that just shows that it's not, there's something wrong. It's not healthy if you switch like this. You can't go and say this guy is great, he's amazing, and then all of a sudden this guy, he has low IQ, he hasn't gone to college. I mean, it's just weird.
Probably most of them didn't go to college. And let me be perfectly clear here when I say that each and every one of them is infinitely more smart and more capable than you and the people that you surround yourself with in this moment. But let's continue, because CNN says you got 100% support. You write, or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question,
Sherry.
or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit.
Brigitte.
Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close.
Where's my bruh? Far. There's no way he said that with a straight face. Bro, look. What do you mean, Brigitte? There's no way. Come on. Look. Let's not lose it this much. I mean, if we're losing it this much, then I think it's time to go to the hospital. There's no way he just compared Brigitte Macron to Candace. Come on. Our sister Candace is very, very beautiful. Come on now. I can't believe he said that. Don't say that about my cuz. It gets better. Let's go. Why is it not starting?
This Brigitte Macron, who did you write that sentence for? Not even Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron applauded that sentence, okay? They said incroyable. It doesn't help. Sometimes propaganda, when it's too naked, actually just hurts the cause that it purports to support. What is your obsession with Brigitte? This Brigitte Macron in the swimsuit, you think that you can command people, men, straight men, to suddenly think that Brigitte is hot? Did you date Jean-Michel Trogneau? Are you gay? Why are you so obsessed calling me from the White House? Stop talking about Brigitte. Is it a physical attraction truly that you had there back when he was better looking, I suppose? Did you sleep with him when he was a man?
E.T. in the chat. E.T. in the chat. He's literally showing the... Oh, no, she's showing the E.T. Oh, that is so funny. Come on. Yes, we missed you, Candace. Where you been for a week? Oh, my God. I've literally got a headache. I need to stop laughing. Oh, man. Oh, I can't believe this. Bruh. Oh, my God. This is crazy.
Do you think people care? To your point about... I hope she wins money since it's all you see, gold, shekels. Do you think your base cares when the subject matter is children that are being statutorily raped by their supervisors? Do you understand that no one in MAGA, in true MAGA, cares about money above truth and protecting children? Did you connect that dot when we revolted against you saying, what about the Epstein files? That seems to be a theme with you. Protecting people who harm children. Why do you keep doing that? Why do you want people to be sued for standing up to that class? We continue. Let's go back to your message conclusively, right? Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune as he should have. It's all about money for you, Trump, isn't it? For his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming that it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news CNN, who you literally, you just cited as saying you had 100% support. So are they fake or are they real, Trump? Now, the fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They are not MAGA, they are losers. Just trying to latch onto MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Trader Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing what's right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. Was that written by Mark Levin?
Yeah, probably. Mark Levin. Oh, man. Mark Levin is in Trump's ear, seriously. You know, I think it's very rude, and it's one of the worst things that you can call somebody. As a Muslim, I'll tell you this, for example, in Islam is calling somebody a traitor, calling somebody a hypocrite. That is very bad. That's like up there when it comes to, you know, bad insults. So surely, even if it's the president of the United States, if somebody like the president is calling you a traitor in front of the world, right? Surely that's defamation, right? I mean, it doesn't matter who he is, right? That's a big thing, guys. How can you call somebody a traitor? Like this lady has a family. This lady is out and about. Like, can you imagine the president of your nation calling you a traitor? Like, that is not great, because obviously you're going to have some people that still support Trump, and that, if, for example, I don't know where Marjorie Taylor Greene lives, but if she's living in a predominantly MAGA city or state, that's not great, is it? That's very dangerous.
Like when he was 6, or who put this message together? The hottest country in the world, because we're bombing kids for no reason, because we just killed 150 schoolgirls for no reason, because you guys just lied about 6 of our servicemen who died. And they had to leak that to CBS News, that you were lying about what was happening. Is that what makes us hot? Is Hot Girl Summer being led by Brigitte Macron and people who attack people, other journalists, for telling the truth? Is like, what's going on? Who put this message together for you and hit send? You're citing CNN, but you're also dissing CNN for having produced certain polls. I don't know. You just told us that we couldn't get on CNN, but now you're saying that we have good coverage on CNN. You're all over the place. It seems like you can't put together a coherent thought. Let me tell you something, and this is just reality, okay? Going back to just the rules of the jungle. Okay, let all the politicians and advisors around you evaporate for just a moment. Just you and me, ready? People will not fight beside, behind, or for someone who is fundamentally disloyal, okay? If disloyalty and deceit is in your nature, then I highly suggest that you combine it with silence. You can be what you are, but I would advise you do it quietly, Trump, because MAGA is no longer commanded by you, and you know it. You know it. You belong to the Epstein class. That is your legacy now. People will see your name on buildings, whatever was agreed upon in those boardrooms, Jared Kushner, Trump, Gaza, hotel, whatever you tweeted, so crass. They will see that. You will earn that. And then when they see it, they will think about how many children had to die or be raped by men on islands so that you could stick the Trump name upon a building. And for clarity, Mr. President, that's not my fault. That's not Megyn Kelly's fault. That's not Tucker Carlson's fault. You made that trade. You chose money above respect. And what an absolute shame that you chose to do that toward the end of your life, okay? Because you can't take money and things and stuff with you when you go, just your soul. And you sold yours for what? Another gilded ballroom? Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Charlie Kirk, he died free. You will most certainly die a slave, okay? You are in chains right now, and the entire world can see that perfectly. At best, what you can hope for in this moment is that maybe one day upon the college campuses that you so deeply cherish, they'll teach all about your now tarnished legacy as the perfect modern day example of Plato's allegory of the cave. You're familiar with that one? The prisoner chained in a cave, multiple prisoners chained in a cave with a fire burning behind them, mistaking shadows on the wall for reality. And when one of those prisoners escapes and makes it outside of the cave and into true daylight and sees, oh, wait, that's not reality, and they return and they try to tell the other prisoners, no, there's truth and there's actual reality outside. They fight that person. They don't believe it. They call that person crazy. That's you. You are chained inside of a cave right now. And who's making those shadows on the wall, right? At best, the annals of history, I think within them, you will be relegated to a philosophical discussion, the madness of President Trump. People will ask, who made Mr. Trump believe the shadows on the wall were real? The professor will chide the class. And in essays, students will cite the example of the man who was once considered a leader of a movement, suddenly reduced to sitting on the side in the Situation Room at the White House while the leader of a foreign country, Benjamin Netanyahu, stands above him, convincing him that Iran represents an imminent threat which can be crippled within weeks. Yeah, the students in that class will be mystified. It will be such a compelling examination. Good discussion. Bibi is your master. Maybe it's Miriam Adelson that lights the fire and Bibi that makes the shadows on the wall. But the entire world rests the fire. And
I need to just go back to that.
Bibi is your master.
This was in the thumbnail. I can't. I love the reference. I love the reference of Lord of the Rings and the king that was under the spell of his, right-hand man. That's crazy. That's actually funny. Man. Crazy. But very accurate reference, I'm not going to lie. Because Bibi, I mean, how many times has this guy actually been in the White House? Like, seriously. This guy is there every 2-3 weeks.
Maybe it's Miriam Adelson that lights the fire and Bibi that makes the shadows on the wall. But the entire world recognizes that now.
Says Sherry.
And though I highly doubt that you will be permitted any opportunity to see what the crowd now thinks of you, I have to do my best to try. So here you are. Take a listen.
I don't know who's whispering into this guy's ear like freaking Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, but they're telling you wrong stuff, bro. Half of the people that I grew up with in this movement are not on Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin's team, okay? We aren't neocons. We aren't war hawks. We want America first. And if you make me choose between America first and MAGA, it's America first all day. That's what MAGA was supposed to be. You were just the best vessel for it, bro. Don't get it twisted.
But as bad as he is, as corrupt as he's gotten, the insider trading, all of it, I'm really glad he's differentiating and saying, you're not with me, because I'm not with you.
Can I just say one thing about this insider trading? Oh my God. I mean, how is this legal? I still don't understand. So Baron Trump is making not hundreds of thousands, tens of millions per trade doing insider trading. You know, shorting stocks, longing stocks. He'll put, for example, I'll make it very simple. He will short a oil company, for example, right? he will short an oil company a couple days before there's a major announcement. Let's say, oh yeah, we're going to be attacking Iran. Yes? Attacking Iran, or actually, he would probably... let me give you an example like this, make it easier. 9/11, right? 9/11, there was airlines that were shorted. So what this meant was, if something happens in this period that it was shorted, the stock goes down, the person that has done the trade, they will get money, a very good amount of money, because they predicted something, right? So this is why it was very mysterious that pretty much on the day of 9/11, there was a lot of money that was made from shorting specific banks that were in the Twin Towers, and also airlines that were involved with the whole incident. So a lot of people, the claim is, the conspiracy is that this was insider trading. Somebody knew what was going to happen, so they shorted the stock, right? Likewise now, Baron Trump, because he has, his father is the president. So obviously they're going to know, oh yeah, we're going to be doing an announcement about Iran in a couple of days. So what Baron Trump does, he goes and shorts and long stocks because he already knows what the outcome's going to be. How is that legal? I don't know. And he's made, guys. By the way, it's all public. You can see the trades. This is the mind-blowing thing. Even with some people in Capitol Hill, right, in the government, Nancy Pelosi is one of the greatest traders in the world. Nancy Pelosi. Because of insider trading. This is crazy.
I don't want to be at your cool, corrupt kid, Howard Lutnick, Jeffrey Epstein class table. Thank you so much for delineating that I'm not with you, a sinking, burning ship. He wasn't loyal to his original mission. He wasn't loyal to America, and he became a creature of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, and all of his never-Trumper enemies are now the courtiers with the madness of King Lear, telling him the lies and worshiping him the way he wants to hear it, and I am not one of those people.
This proves one of many things. The first thing, he shouldn't be in office anymore. Implement the 25th. He's not loyal to this country, and he's not loyal to anybody. Well, except for that little country in the Middle East. It's almost like he does what he's told, and the last president to tell that little country no was JFK, and we all know what happened to him. It's like Donald Trump. How can you call them losers when you lose to Bibi Netanyahu in Israel every single day? When's the last time you told them no to anything?
He said Brigitte Macron is far more beautiful than Candace Owens.
All I can say is he's blind.
That's all across the internet. Take your pick, left and right. People understand that message was really your basket of deplorables moment. I mean, even on Truth Social, your very own platform, they've turned on you. Let's go through just some of these responses, okay? What? You are way out of line. Most of these people, especially Alex Jones, have been your day ones. That's correct. Just to remind you, Trump, when no one would have you on, when no media company would have you on, Alex Jones had you on his show. This person continues, you need to take a step back and take a good hard look at who is whispering in your ear and get back to America first. Next person, Trump, you are just going against everyone that fought for him to win just because of the Epstein files and being at war with Iran for Israel. They didn't leave MAGA, MAGA left them. Clearly you are insane. Time to resign, Donald, or face the 25th. You are mentally and emotionally unfit to be POTUS. You are so childish. Clearly, the truth has triggered you, being one of your biggest supporters. I am done with you and your lies. Look at the mess that you have gotten our country into by bending the knee to a monster. I could go on, but I have to say that when I was looking online, in my view, what was the most brutal and sadly a recurring response all across social media was this. Take a look at this tweet about Charlie. People were saying that Charlie would be on this list if they hadn't killed him. Like I said, many people said that in different ways. Charlie would be on this list if they hadn't killed him. So you should probably take a second to fully absorb what is being implied there. What is being implied there is that there is no truth and there is no loyalty within you. And for that reason, I genuinely pity you. I am not angry. I am not upset. I don't want to rant at you. I believe you are in a situation that I would never want to be in, surrounded by advisors who hate you to their core. But they understand you. They know how to insulate you. They know how to watch you and encourage you to self-destruct because they perceive you as weak. And weakness is a means for them to fulfill their own ends. Sadly, you've now lived long enough to become everything that you once claimed Hillary Clinton was. Respectfully. We'll be right back after a brief break. All right, you guys, thanks to you, last year, Preborn helped to rescue over a switch today. No, there's just something about men when they don't keep their word, right? It's like women can be catty, but when men are wishy-washy and they stab people in the back, it hits different. And CNN actually, which I guess Trump is watching for their polls, their reliable polls, put together a pretty brutal montage of Trump. Take a look at this.
I just mentioned a name, but a woman who I saw the other night on television just ripped some poor idiot apart. Megyn Kelly is here, and she's doing, come up here, Megyn. By the way, I'm having a great time up here. Are you having a good time? This guy, is he the greatest interviewer? Candace Owens, I watched her and I saw her coming. I said, you know, I'm pretty good at star power. I say, that's a star. I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed.
So the obvious question is what or who changed Donald Trump, right? How does one go from making friends with people, fighting beside people, promising, being very explicit in his guarantee, promising no new wars, right? No new wars in the Middle East. We're going to lower gas prices, to suddenly insider trading, right? That looks like that happened recently. Never ending wars. We're everywhere fighting all the time, and we're never being told, and no one's articulating a reason as to why we're going down to Venezuela, why we're speaking about Greenland, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, here we are going to Iran, despite the fact that nobody wants to go. Not even the people in the armed services. They don't know. Everybody is saying there's no need to do this, and yet he does it, right? Who is guiding that? Megyn Kelly is asking the right questions on Piers Morgan. Take a listen.
And so what led Trump, at 79 years old, to sit in there in that situation room when Bibi Netanyahu was seated as an equal?
Yeah.
Trump didn't even sit at the head of the table. Trump sat at the side of the table and Bibi was across from him as an equal in the American situation room. What led him to sit there and buy what that guy was selling hook, line, and sinker when every other president was able to see through that liar? What was it? Because he was told the next day by our own top advisors, from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of State to the vice president, that these are lies and that these objectives are not going to be attainable. Don't believe him.
Well, Megyn, I think Tucker actually has the right idea. So he published this letter, and I'm going to read it. He writes, he's in a tough spot, referring to President Donald Trump. Establishment media never reports this, but the Israeli government has a storied history of blackmailing U.S. presidents. Perhaps the most jarring example occurred in the 90s when Israel used recordings of Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, phone sex sessions as leverage to pressure Clinton into releasing convicted spy Jonathan Pollard from prison. We are not joking, that really happened. The phone sex story is worth remembering as President Trump attempts to end the Iran war. Like many other things Israel has done, it shows that America's special ally is willing to play very dirty to achieve its goals. Dark money, campaign contributions, extortion, physical threats, and even assassination. In their anti-Christian worldview, the end always justifies the means. They have no issue destroying lives. Israel's current top priority is making sure Operation Epic Fury does not stop. They know the U.S. fighting their war for them is the best chance at expanding their borders and becoming a global superpower, and a peace deal would foil their plot. Based on the country's past, its leaders are doubtlessly willing to push as hard and as necessary to ensure the bloodshed continues. That could mean Clinton-style blackmail against Trump or something far more morbid. We do not know for sure whether that is happening, but the mere possibility is haunting enough to keep the president up at night. He is under a level of pressure that most people cannot fathom, with rabid Israel firsters viciously harassing him anytime he dares to stray even slightly from their favorite country's agenda. Their shameless pursuit is steadfast enough to make even a man like Donald Trump go mad. They are as persistent as any group in history, no matter how well the White House has treated them in the past. They are never grateful. They always want more, and they refuse to give the president even an inch of breathing room. It is an unrelenting full-court press. We decided to write this after Trump published a Truth Social post attacking our company, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, each of whom supported him for years. Rather than engaging in petty name-calling, we want to give the president some grace. He is facing a level of pressure that is dark enough to make him abandon his campaign promises and morph into the precise kind of politician he once vowed to destroy. He would not have let that happen unless his personal stakes were really high. We hope he overcomes. It's very kind of them. It is.
Literally was going to say the same thing. Very kind. Kill them with your kindness. I mean, yeah, sometimes you do need to do that. You never know which effect will work with people. EKG says Artemis has landed. Okay. Great. That's good. Also, again, the switch that Trump is doing is very interesting. Surely he must have people around him that would sit him down and say, sir, you can't say this about Tucker. I mean, forget about the rest, but Tucker, he was here like a couple of weeks ago and you praised him so much. But I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he actually doesn't.
It is good to have grace. Like I said, I don't feel angry at him. You can't be angry because there was nothing that landed. There was no truth in what he posted. Ironically, being posted on Truth Social. Who's going to be upset about Brigitte Macron is hot? There's something that is so fundamentally childish about what he published. Everybody who disagrees with me is low IQ. People can see which way the wind is blowing on this. And I do want to comment and share something that I hadn't shared before. And I don't know if it means something, but it's something that has always lived inside of me, which was something that Charlie Kirk told me before he passed and something that Andrew Colvett confirmed to me. This is, again, when everybody was good. And obviously things are not the same between me and Andrew Colvett because I don't believe him. I just don't believe him. But before it was announced that Miriam Adelson gave Trump $100 million. This was, I think it was announced in July or just before July of 2024. And I was told by Charlie that he and Andrew Colvett were present for that meeting with Donald Trump.
100% sure.
And the reason that Charlie told me the story, and again, I could go back and try to figure out when exactly the discussion happened. I want to say it was May. So I knew that money went through and I knew what she wanted in exchange for $100 million. What Charlie and Andrew Colvett told me was that she said that she wanted in exchange for Trump to allow them to annex not Gaza, but the West Bank. I was stunned by this. I think it has since made the news. But of course, this is like a totally different pretense than October 7th. Hamas is not in the West Bank, and that is what she wanted in exchange. After she said this to Trump, Trump went, wherever Charlie was, Trump was adjusting his tie and looking in the mirror, and he said, I'm going to take her money, and then I'll F her over. Okay. I am hearing this from Charlie, who was there first person, and Andrew, who confirmed this. Andrew was also there. That nobody else was there but Andrew and Charlie when Trump said this. A few weeks later, there was the Butler attempted assassination. And I find it very strange that Donald Trump is not interested or has appeared to be completely disinterested in determining who fired that shot. There were a lot of holes in that story. I didn't go down that rabbit hole. But I do know that once you assume office and you have the power to get more information and put more information out there, it's weird that he was satisfied just moving on from that. And I do remember watching Don Trump Jr. on stage when someone sort of prodded him on that and like, are you satisfied with the conclusion of what happened in Butler? That Don Trump Jr. kind of said, I'm not, but my father is, and that's that. Like it just kind of got hushed up. And I had wondered in my mind if it got back to me that Trump said that, if it maybe got back to the Adelsons that Trump said that. You don't take $100 million from a family of, I would say, gangsters, right? You're in gambling. It's not exactly an industry. I'm talking about Sheldon. That's what they made money on. You don't take that kind of money and then express to people that you're planning on just screwing the person over. I just have a lot of questions about that. And it all transpired very quickly. And I just wanted to share that, especially in the context of Tucker saying we should have some grace, and clearly something happened and presidents have been assassinated in the past. And I do think that we have all noted this shift in him since Butler, Pennsylvania. Again, that is all I know. Not pointing the finger or assigning any blame, but I think we all have questions about how quickly Trump wanted to sort of close the book on Butler, Pennsylvania. And I will leave it at that. We know in many ways that Trump has done various deals with various kinds of devils. He is definitively surrounded by certifiable lunatics, one of them being Laura Loomer. And that's putting it mildly. I mean, she has been committed multiple times by her own family. She once chained herself to to Twitter headquarters. It was actually Twitter when she did this, and wore a yellow star. She's not even Jewish. If you ask her to produce a photo of her bat mitzvah, she cannot, because she was not bat mitzvahed and she is not Jewish. It's just something she's playing the part of. It's one of her many personalities. And she proudly promotes the fact that she is one of Trump's closest advisor. A certifiable lunatic is one of his closest advisors. And she yesterday proudly promoted the fact that she was behind his tweet last night to me and Tucker and Megan, but to Tucker Carlson in particular. Take a listen to her being braggadocious.
But the president has had enough of Tucker. And yeah, I'm just going to admit it. I sent the president Tucker Carlson's clip so he can see the that he says about him. I do. And I want that Tucker Carlson to know that I'm the one who knifed him from the front. I want him to know. I'm not talking about physical violence, physical knifing, but yeah, I'm the one that sent the president all your Tucker, because he deserves to see the fact that you are lying about him and you are smearing him and you are saying the most vile things about our country and our president, and you are creating so much chaos. You're going to cause the Democrats to take the House and the Senate, and you are endangering our national security by whitewashing this barbaric death cult ideology known as Islam. So I just hope that he knows that, yes, Tucker, there are people out there who actually have the courage to take your drivel and take your bullshit to the president and to stand up against you. I don't know who Tucker Carlson thinks he is. He thinks he's so popular. Even President Trump today called him out and said he's like a third-rate podcaster. I don't know why Tucker Carlson thinks he's so special. He's not. He's not special. He is endangering the lives of Christians, of Catholics, of Jews, and all non-Muslims in the way that he continues to whitewash this death cult ideology, and the way that he continues to incite violence against evangelicals and Jewish Americans, and even the president himself.
Can you imagine listening to Laura Loomer? Can you just imagine just sitting there and being like, let me just get my tea and coffee. Yeah, let's just listen to Laura Loomer today. Are you talking about the same Laura Loomer that before she went to India, because she had like this, whoever decided to invite her, by the way, I mean, why would you invite a vile individual like this? Before she went to India, she deleted thousands of tweets about her being racist towards Asian and Indian people, Pakistani people, Bengali people, because obviously she knew that a lot of Asians are going to be at this event. It's in India, right? And so many people called her out and she couldn't answer it. You know, when individuals like this, do you know how you can tell that they are bought by the Zios? Let me tell you this very clearly. When they start to talk about increase of hatred towards and violence towards Muslims and Islam, you know that they are bought. Even Megyn Kelly, right, has said in Tucker Carlson's interview that she is rethinking what she was spoon-fed about Islam. Even Megyn Kelly. By the way, even now with Megyn Kelly, I don't agree with a lot of what she says, because Megyn Kelly is somebody that also, unfortunately, she really does go left and right a lot, right? But they hate the fact that you have Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, that are really spreading the truth when it comes to the hatred that these individuals are obviously pushing. And you have Laura Loomer, people like Laura Loomer, seriously. I mean, I blame ourselves, guys. We should blame ourselves because we are the ones that are giving these individuals platform. Go and look at Laura Loomer's tweet and just try and think to yourself, why in the hell anybody would go and listen to this person? I mean, seriously, she is a vile individual. The things that she says is just disgusting.
One of his top advisors, ladies and gentlemen. What more can we say other than to present it? I think by now the majority of Americans understand that the true death cult is Israel. You can't fill them to the brim with enough murder. It is very clear what the Likud government is. They are murderous. They have a particular knack for murdering children. I truly believe that they celebrate it. I've seen videos of them celebrating it. They love the idea of the water being turned off, they're poisoning people in Lebanon. And if you're wondering with what, pay attention, Maha moms. Remember when the Monsanto thing, Trump went back on phosphorus. And
I'm just going to pause it 2 seconds. On YouTube, you guys can see this, right? Look at what it says. Just read what it says. We have detected inactivity during your current life. Complete the verification to continue your current life. Literally just spoke to you guys not even 30 seconds ago. You guys on YouTube can literally see, look at what I got to deal with, guys. Every freaking time we do a live stream, we look at what I got to deal with these scumbags. Every time. Sorry.
And Monsanto, well, that was because Israel needed it to poison people in Lebanon. That's the reality of the circumstances that we live in. Everyone was betrayed. Trump, I don't even believe Trump today would get the support of Jewish Americans. The majority is support of Jewish Americans. I got to tell you, my inbox is getting pretty filled to the brim of people who are Jewish Americans, rabbis even, who write me and say, you are right about Sabbatianism and Frankism, and the Likud party is not at all, it's not a reflection. We have been fighting this battle for decades to get Jewish Americans and Jewish people worldwide to recognize that there is a cult that is claiming to be Jewish and they are not, and that they are emerging. It's very clear who they are. The way that they respond to death is not natural. It is unnatural. The way they celebrate it, the way they crave it. It's never enough. They like the idea of people dying, being torn apart from their families. It is like they are sacrificing it to a demon because they are. That's what a death cult is. They believe in sacrifices. And I will forever maintain that the first casualty of the Iranian war was Charlie Kirk. I believe he was sacrificed by this death cult. That's my opinion. And I am going to stick to that, and despite the many threats to sue. Money isn't everything. In fact, it's almost nothing. It is nothing next to truth. I will say that there were a lot of things, when you just look at the people that are around him that are such maniacs, that were very memeable. I think people were just saying, this is the end of MAGA. MAGA is dead. Had me feeling a little bit like Charlie Kirk. I was like, like Erica Kirk, MAGA is dead. It's over. Not to be morbid. What are the merch sales? Where are the merch sales? We need merch. MAGA is dead. It's over. We do have some great merch right now. That's up on the website. I'll show you guys some of that. And of course, the nut jobs and troublemakers. We are third-rate podcasters. We are happy. But this is my new favorite. We dropped this. This is the new. It actually says MACA, because I feel like that's the direction. If you want to go back up to the green hat, that is the direction that we are heading into. Like, it is, we need to make America Christian again. That is the vibe. That is what I sense rising, is that there is just the Christian spirit of people that are just realizing they want nothing to do with the death cults. We are the four horsemen of MAGA. That should be, make sure they fix that, by the way. That should say the four horsemen with an E, not horseman. We'll make sure that's fixed if you guys order that today. And sorry, we obviously got this up pretty quickly, but yeah, we have a whole bunch of new merch that is available on the website. Anyway, you guys, we will be right back after a break.
Okay, so we're not gonna do the comments. That was a, you know, very good live by Candace. Again, she's tweeted a lot since obviously the live has ended, so we're definitely gonna see a very big live on Monday. Give me just 2 seconds. Let me find this Tucker Carlson video. Give me just 2 seconds. I mean, man. Okay, so he's finally, is he up there? Trying to this guy here. Let me just let me see if it's this one.
With changing that relationship is, well, you're going to have to deal with Israel's agents and one of the problems.
Okay.
With changing that relationship is, well, you're going to have to deal with Israel's agents and advocates in the United States. And there are many of those. There are many of those. And by the way, just to be completely clear, they're not all Jewish. In fact, most of them aren't. This is not about Judaism. It's about blind support for a nation state called Israel to the extent that it harms our interests. And you saw that on full display in the last 24 hours. So the president excitedly announces a ceasefire, a pause in the fighting in a war that cannot result in American victory, but only in further American defeat and degradation, and ultimately in bankruptcy and possibly in nuclear war. So this is a great thing. Immediately, advocates for Israel appear on Fox News telling you that this is not acceptable. This is a loss. This is cowardice. Here's 83-year-old former general Jack Keane on Fox telling you that this is disappointing, that the killing has paused just for a moment. Here he is.
So there's a lot wrapped up in the deal. My preference would have been to keep the war going as leverage to make that deal. But we are where we are now. And I really do think if the deal blows up, it comes down to Carg Island and forcing either take control of Carg Island and take control of the distribution of oil, or destroy it and force an economic collapse.
I mean, what do you say to something like that? Most people watching him are like, oh, he was a general. He was a general. He knows what he's talking about. He's probably war gamed this whole thing out. He knows what it is to take Carg Island. Talk to anyone who actually has been to Carg Island or understands the geography of the Persian Gulf. How do you take Carg Island? Is General Jack Keane of Fox News the first person ever to think, hey, we should take Carg Island, then we control the commodity flow through the Persian Gulf. That would make us powerful. No, he's not the first person to think of this. Carg Island has actually changed hands quite a few times through history. Various empires have controlled it because geographically it's a critical piece of real estate. And it's extremely hard to control at this point, or once again, we would already. Take control of the oil. Oh, really? Hadn't thought of that. How would we do that? And of course, no one ever asks a follow-up question. How exactly would you do that? What would it cost us to do that? How long could we hold it? How far from mainland Iran is Carg Island? Is it within, I don't know, artillery range? Have the Iranians thought this through too? Do they see Carg Island, through which 90% of their energy moves, as a key piece of real estate? Have they taken extraordinary steps to defend it? What are those steps? And how do we mitigate those? No, not a thought. Just take Carg Island, take control of the energy flows, collapse their economy. Well, then what happens? You collapse their economy, and then what? Does that open the Straits of Hormuz? Where does that leave us? Where does that leave the 7 countries that face Iran? No thought to that at all. Just do it. And by the way, it's kind of cowardly not to do it. They're children. And not only they're children, we know they are because they have a decades-long track record of bad decisions. Not just bad, but disastrous. These are the very same people who've gotten the United States into every pointless conflict really since the Second World War. How many have we won? 0. Just a fact. A fact that you admit with sadness if you love the United States, as most of us do. None of this has worked. And if it has, tell us how. Just explain what the United States got out of any of these conflicts. With accelerating absurdity, each one more absurd than the next. You can understand you don't want China to control South Korea. Okay, let's do the Incheon landing. You could sort of understand why you wouldn't want Ho Chi Minh sweeping into Saigon, which is now called Ho Chi Minh City. Can you really understand why we invaded Iraq? Not at all. And this war makes the least sense of all if you view it through the prism that most Americans would, which is this good for us? No, obviously not. And there's no way to achieve it. And you know there's no way to achieve a military victory, meaning a return to the status quo of February 27th, because they never explain what those means might be. Because they have no idea, because they're children. And so really it's incumbent on the rest of us to increase our self-respect and stop giving airtime or any attention at all to people with a long proven track record of failure and absurdity and silliness. Listening to 83-year-old generals who couldn't find Karg Island on a map, pretending that they're experts on the subject.
Also listening to prime ministers that have been coming to your country for a very long time and saying for 30 years that for 2 weeks Iran is about to get their weapon. You know, they're 2 weeks away. For the past 30 years, by the way. Yeah. They're 2 weeks away. For the past 30 years. Maybe we shouldn't listen to them. At what point do we say, you know, this guy that's been coming quite a bit, yeah, maybe we shouldn't listen to this guy because he's been saying the same things for a very, 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 very long time. But no, I mean, that in order for you to have that thought, you need to use your brain. Certain people just don't want to use it, unfortunately.
Because they're not. And again, they've gotten it wrong again and again and again. Would you take real estate advice from a homeless person? No. Because they're not good at real estate, so they're homeless. Like, this is nuts. And so for this government to function, people...
Hey, look. May God protect us all. May God protect us in this beautiful world that we have with all the tests that we go through. I'm not laughing at somebody, of course, being homeless. Never, never, never. The comparison is funny because it's true. I mean, you don't take advice about real estate from a homeless person. You go to somebody that you know is legit, you know has knowledge about this, and then you decide what you're going to do. But again, like I said, it takes for you to use your brain, and then a lot of people don't want to use it, unfortunately. That's why we've got a lot of chaos that is started by a couple individuals, and let's see what's going to happen, guys. Man, we're not even halfway through the year.
Who've gotten it wrong again and again and again cannot persist in positions of leadership. Doesn't mean they have to be imprisoned. They'd like to imprison their enemies, but in a free country, you don't imprison people because of disagreement. They're saying out loud, anyone who disagrees with us should be in jail because they're authoritarians. But it means not allowing them in government. Why? Because they don't have the best interest of the country at heart. That's why. Obviously. Or they wouldn't be calling for military action that is by definition fruitless and Sisyphean. It doesn't work. Who does that help? Not us, it helps Israel. That's the whole point of the program. So why do they still have positions of authority in the U.S. government? Well, that's a really interesting question. But we could start, the great sorting could begin by disqualifying anyone from government service who holds a second passport. That's really simple. And not just an Israeli passport, but a Belgian passport, a Sierra Leonean passport, any other passport. If you're a citizen of another country, obviously you shouldn't be running our country because you have by definition dual loyalty. You can just leave and go to your other nation. No normal country would allow that.
I agree, because let me tell you one thing as well. How is it that individuals that, for example, when they're asked the question, is it America first, Israel first, they can't just give a normal response? Like, of course, if you're in the government of that nation, surely surely you would say, for example, America first or Britain first, right? Because you're representing that country. But no, we find some individuals, they don't want to answer the question. That's crazy. Surely these people should be looked at. I mean, how do you know that? How can you rely on these people? Seriously, how can you? And unfortunately, there's a lot of these people. There is a lot of these people.
Why would you allow that? Doesn't mean people with dual citizenship can't live here, though there's an argument for that too. A strong argument for that. Pick a country. If you don't like it, leave. That's fair. You can't use this as a place to park your money, a place to hide out or hang out until you get in trouble and then flee to your other country. Like, why would any nation allow that? Most don't. We do. We got to stop it. But you could begin with, no, you can't serve in government if you've got two passports. Sorry, period, at any level. DMV up to DOD. No. And if you've served in a foreign military, come on now. Especially when the U.S. is at war, you can't serve in the U.S. government if you've worn a foreign uniform. Of course not. You can't hold elective office if you fought for somebody else's country. Because by...
What was that guy's name that doesn't have legs? Bald guy that wore a IDF, what's it called? Uniform. And he walked into, was it Capitol Hill? Crazy. What was that guy's name?
By definition, you have fought for aims that are not the same as ours. In fact, they may be in opposition to ours. You may have fought against what's good for the United States. Certainly, if you served in the IDF, you fought against what's good for the United States, knowingly or not. You probably didn't mean to, but you did. You shouldn't go to jail for that, but you can't be allowed to work at, say, the Pentagon. But right now you can. And by the way, there are IDF officers working out of the Pentagon because they have an office within the Pentagon, as they do at CIA in Langley. A foreign government has offices in our critical executive branch headquarter buildings. That's just not healthy. That's crazy. And it cannot be allowed a single more day. Why would it? Oh, that's hateful. Of whom? Would Israel allow that? Would they allow Americans, I don't know, to open an office in the Dimona complex? No, because they're not insane, but we are. So we should stop that immediately. But the main problem with neocons, of all religions, just to be totally clear, is that not only are they not on board with the interests of the majority of our country, they work in opposition to those interests. Wars you don't need, mass migration into this country and the West, and that would include Canada and New Zealand and Australia, Western Europe and the United States. That migration, which I think even liberals would acknowledge has not been good for anybody. In fact, it's destroyed these countries because a country, a sovereign country, has control over its borders. Can't just change the population in a generation. Can't do that. That's all been abetted by the neocons, 100%. Now, why is that? Well, that's another question. But the whole thing is dark. The owner of OnlyFans is one of the biggest contributors to AIPAC? Tell me how that works. Don't know the answer, but it's not good. It's not helpful.
That guy is dead, isn't it? Yeah, I think he died from cancer, that guy. The owner of OnlyFans. He died, right? I think he died. Yeah, he was the #1 contributor for AIPAC. Crazy. Interesting. I think he definitely died.
Healthy. It's not good for the United States. None of it's good. AIPAC's not good. OnlyFans is not good. So maybe it's not surprising there's some nexus there. But above all, what is degrading to our country, bad for our strategic objectives, and just rotten for the nation is the lying, the nonstop lying, the refusal to be straightforward about your aims. What are you actually arguing for? You never know. Because lying is totally acceptable among neocons, completely. You always cloak your real objective. You saw this in the 12-Day War. Oh, no, we're just going to get rid of their nuclear program because it's an imminent threat to the West. Okay, it's an imminent threat. And some people piped up and said, I don't know, this looks like the opening salvos in a regime change war. Oh, shut up, racist. Of course, it turned out to be. But nobody ever apologizes. Well, actually, you're right. You caught us the first time, and now we know because we're in a regime change war or an attempted regime change war. No, just keep lying. Just say whatever it takes, whatever's expedient to get to whatever the goal is, but you never know what the goal is because they'll never tell you. Cost of living is already making it hard to live here, and it's...
Yeah, that was the clip that a couple of you sent. So I'm going to play portions of this interview. I'm not going to play the full thing, but there was a couple portions that were interesting. I'll go with this one first. Oops.
Hezbollah sí estaba protegiendo las iglesias cristianas y resguardando.
What's this? Bruh, why is this in... What?
Dando estas zonas simbólicas de gran importancia religiosa para los cristianos. Hay videos de ellos entrando a iglesias limpiando.
Bro, why is this in Spanish? That's how... What? Why is this in Spanish? Juan. Adios, good night, bro. Bro, what the hell? Why is it in Spanish? How are we gonna fix this? Wait, let me refresh this.
Pasado hace 2 semanas, el periodista británico Steve Sweeney, que vive y trabaja en Beirut, Líbano.
What the hell? Wait. But is this in Spanish? YouTube. What? How the hell do you change this?
Estaba...
Wait, 2 secs. Bro, what is going on? Yeah, it's off. Hey, this is weird.
En el sur del Líbano con un camarógrafo.
What the hell? What the hell? Wait, 2 secs.
Intentando documentar.
Tucker in Spanish is funny. Yeah, how the hell do you change this? Wow, what? Oh, what the hell is this doing? Stupid thing. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds.
Documentar lo que le...
What in the hell? You know, sometimes it does like Mr. Beast videos in Turkish as well. No habla español. Let me play another video.
Last night at 6:30.
Yeah, what the hell?
Documentar lo que el ejército israelí está haciendo en esa parte del país. La están arrasando y desplazando a comunidades enteras, incluidos pueblos cristianos en toda la zona.
Guys.
Y mientras preparaba su reportaje, fue blanco de un ataque.
Okay,
un
let's
avión
just
israelí de fabricación.
Nah, seriously, why is this? This is funny. What the hell? There's no different settings. It's the same thing every single one.
So you're running for governor of...
What the hell?
Documentar lo que el ejército is...
I don't know what to do. His R's are perfect. Yeah. Documentar. Hola, por favor. Guys, what are we gonna do?
Documentar lo que el ejército israelí está haciendo en esa parte del país.
Oh, what? Can you imagine they're doing this so people don't understand what he's saying? They already got to you, Tucker. They got to you, bro. 7 hours ago. We can't even listen to what you're saying because they don't want us to listen. Look, everything's off. Subtitle CC off. What the hell?
La están arrasando y desplazando a comunidades enteras.
No, it's off, Carmelina. It's off to anything different than English. That's why, for example, if it was on, then it will be on when we go on to a different video. Let me go on to a different video and see if it changes.
IL. Any jail, anywhere.
Use the information in the description.
That's fine.
Enteras, incluidos pueblos cristianos en toda la zona. Y mientras preparaba...
What? This is crazy. I hate it when stuff like this happens, seriously. TikTok is heavily monitored. Yeah, trust me, I know that. Trust me, I know that very well. I know that very well.
Su reportaje fue blanco de un ataque.
That's crazy. Everything's off.
Ataque. Un avión israelí de fabricación estadounidense le lanzó un misil en un intento enteras, incluidos pueblos cristianos.
Bruh. And it's good that, you know, I'm trying to learn Spanish now, but man, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, Caroline, I saw your comment. I've already changed it to that. I don't know why it's still it's literally all of it's off. There's no original audio. Wait, 2 secs. It's weird that it's just doing it for this. Literally doesn't give me any option. Bruh. Let me try going on incognito mode. Wait, 2 secs. Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien. Sí, claro. Hermano. ¿Estás también?
Your last chance to disappear until summer and come back unrecognizable. Start the
El mes pasado, hace 2 semanas, el periodista británico
Look at this. Bro. He's still speaking Spanish. And now it's got Indian subtitles. Am I getting hacked or something? What's going on? What the hell? What?
Steve Sweeney, que vive y trabaja en Beirut, Líbano,
Sí,
estaba en el
Taka,
sur
sí,
del Líbano con un camarógrafo intentando documentar lo que el ejército israelí está haciendo en esa parte.
Wow, what is actually going on? Let me try a different video of Tucker's. Hey, this is a joke.
Millions of Americans.
What the actual hell is going on?
El mes pasado, hace 2 semanas, el periodista británico Steve Sweeney, que vive y trabaja en Beirut, Líbano, estaba en el sur del Líbano con un camarógrafo intentando documentar lo que el ejército israelí está haciendo en esa parte del país. La están arrasando y desplazando a comunidades enteras, incluidas.
A lot of you know Spanish, but yeah, this is just so strange. Even on incognito mode. Hey Sherry, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good night. Guys, what is going on? Hey, can somebody go on YouTube? Oh, actually, I could do it. Let me go on YouTube on my phone. Let me see if that makes a difference. On a different account.
El mes pasado, hace 2 semanas, el periodista británico Steve Sweeney, que vive y trabaja en Beirut, Líbano, estaba en el sur del Líbano con un camarógrafo intentando documentar lo que el ejército israelí está haciendo en esa parte del país. La están arrasando y desplazando a comunidades enteras, incluidos pueblos cristianos en toda la zona.
I just watched something else of Tucker's and just start right in the middle of it in Spanish. What the hell?
Unos con cientos, incluso.
No. Bro, what is actually going on?
Overnight, President Trump going hard on some.
Everything else is working. There must be something to do with YouTube. There's no way. I mean, we're on incognito mode. There's no way.
Oh yeah.
El mes pasado, hace 2 semanas, el periodista.
It's Spanish for me too. I'm telling you, they're not letting us play it. That's crazy. Sí, Taka, sí. Manu.
Periodista británico Steve Sweeney, que vive y trabaja en Beirut, Líbano, estaba.
Just watched it in Australia. Was it Spanish as well? And look at this EAB family worldwide. Let's go. Beautiful people, man. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Was it in Spanish in Australia? Slavestev. Sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. That's crazy. Surely this is like a... Is anyone talking about it in the comments? Let's see if there's any recent comments. Yeah, look. Why is it only showing Spanish language for me? English, please. Why is this in Spanish? What the what the hell? What's up with the language? I'm telling you guys, you guys thought it was a conspiracy theory. They literally censored it in English then. Look at this, what they're doing. Oh my God. It's over, guys. It's over. It is actually over. Okay, let's go and react to something else then, and we'll do this tomorrow.
In your
Before
copious
the before the true crime live, actually, I'm gonna have a very long live tomorrow. So we're gonna start off at EAB World. Do you know what I'm gonna actually do? Because, you know, I don't want to say anything, but, you know, all praises to God. Thank you, God, because these audio have been good. Nothing, except for the inactivity. That's a stupid notification anyway, that nothing happens from that. But the other notification that causes us trouble, no. So maybe I can try going live on EAB World. Maybe. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a long live, guys. I'm probably going to do the longest live that I've ever done. So, hey, Amira. Bro, it's in Spanish. See what I mean? What's going on? And what a coincidence that now that I'm trying to learn Spanish, they've got the whole thing in Spanish. Everybody's commenting, by the way. Everybody's commenting. Let's hear a little bit of Tucker in Spanish, like 10-15 seconds. I want to hear him again.
El mes pasado, hace 2 semanas, el periodista británico Steve Sweeney, que vive y trabaja en Beirut, Líbano, estaba en el sur del Líbano con un camarógrafo intentando documentar lo que el ejército israelí está haciendo en esa parte del país.
Bibi puta. Bibi esta puta. Puta blerda. Bibi Ben-Gvir. Puta. Hermano, Taka, hermano.
La están arrasando y desplazando a comunidades enteras, incluidos pueblos cristianos en toda la zona.
Problema.
Y mientras preparaba su reportaje, fue blanco de un ataque. Un avión israelí de fabricación estadounidense le lanzó un misil en un intento de asesinarlo. Así se vio.
Se reportaron más cohetes sobre Nariya.
Yeah, but they are. Look, I told you guys, I'm not somebody that swears, but to the people that deserve it, yeah, I am. Should I say it in Turkish? No, I'm joking. It's Tucker's voice is different. It's AI, basically. Yeah, it's AI. Okay, let's go. We'll watch something else. I didn't watch this actually. What's this? Tucker Carlson on whether Trump betrayed America first over the Iran war.
Casting about this in the last 2 weeks, you have made the argument very strongly that the United States has been pushed into something not in its own national interest by pressure from Israel and the lobbying power of Israel.
Well, it has been. The question is whether the person who makes the ultimate decision, who would be President Trump, should have pushed back. That's it. Of course, Trump should have pushed back.
As previous presidents have done.
To some extent, some very limited extent. George W. Bush didn't push back. We wound up in the Iraq War, and now everyone pretends, oh, that had nothing to do with Israel. I was there. I was talking to Bush. That's not true. That's a lie. And that's why it's so important, from my perspective, to say out loud what is true before history is rewritten and disappears. And it's lying that gets us here. because we say, oh, no, lobbying efforts had no effect. Really? We say that about our pharmaceutical policy? No. Everybody understands that every policy a large government makes, including ours, is influenced by various stakeholders who were affected by that policy. But this is the one area we have to be like, no, it had nothing to do with the fact that his biggest donors were pushing him to do this, or the Bibi visited 7 times in 1 year. Are you joking? I'm not going to play along with the lies anymore. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate Israel. I love my country. This has happened yet again. I can give you a whole list of previous times where it's happened. And I think we need to know what happened so we don't hurt ourselves further.
I am not saying don't blame Israel. I think Israel has its own national interests, and Israel was certainly pushing for things. But I think there is more agency and therefore more responsibility with the President of the United States and the Trump administration.
I wouldn't disagree. He represents me. I live here.
But that's important, because in the way you described
Israel pushed him into this. Now, he shouldn't have gone along with it. He should have pushed back. But to pretend that Trump woke up one morning and is like, no, I think
I'm
we're
not
going to...
suggesting that, to be clear.
No, Israel pushed him. The prime minister... And by the way, it's not Israel. There are a lot of people who disagree in Israel. I know some of them. It was the prime minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who pushed our president into doing this. And I hope this is the last time that Netanyahu or any foreign head of state will ever push an American president to do something that hurts America.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think we may be, as you yourself said earlier, at a tipping point in terms of the rapid decline within the United States for support for Israel. Maybe. And you see it huge. I mean, you've seen it for several years on the Democratic side, you're now seeing it on the conservative side, and you're seeing a collapse amongst younger people. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. How quickly is that going to change the politics of Israel in the United States?
I mean, it's hard to know. There doesn't seem to be a direct connection, not just on Israel or foreign policy, but on almost any issue between what our leaders believe and do and what the public thinks and wants. The public begins to believe, in their frustration at their declining standard of living, for example, or declining birth rates, or whatever it is that's getting worse, and a lot is, that there's no way to use legitimate means to change it. Voting doesn't work. If they believe that, then they will, by definition, find other ways. And those ways are destructive. And I don't want that. So I think it's very important that a government, even a non-democracy, even a monarchy, respond to the concerns of the population. You can ignore them for a while. If you ignore them for too long, you get overthrown.
Let's talk, though, a little bit more about how this declining support for Israel, which I think is one of the most significant political shifts in the United States in recent years. How is that shaping the MAGA movement? I mean, are you now seeing, when I look at the opinion polls, I'm told that there's 100% support amongst MAGA or 95% support for the war. On the other hand, you're clearly a man with a large number of followers who is making a very, very different argument.
I was standing next to Trump at his house when he got elected. I've known him a long time. I talked to him a lot. So, I don't fully understand what MAGA is, but I know that the core promise of the Trump political movement, Make America Great Again, was America First. And it was articulated by him repeatedly at every campaign stop for 10 years. So everyone in America knows this. I think everyone globally knows this. The core of this movement was the idea that you would, and we could debate about how you do it, but you would try to put the interest of your country at the center of every calculation about how you manage your country and how you interact with the world. It's the single most obvious and single most popular political concept ever devised.
Do you think Donald Trump has betrayed America First?
I think that this war is something that he promised he wouldn't do, not once, but countless times. And until YouTube is banned, we'll be able to prove that. And the idea behind it is not only contrary to America First, maybe it's inverse. There's no argument that changing the regime in Iran helps the United States. And if there is an argument, I'd love to hear it. And by the way, if that argument is sensible and convincing, I will support it. All I care about is the United States. But I haven't heard that argument a single time. All I've heard is the kind of tiresome fear-mongering about nuclear weapons, which Iran did not have. It's insulting, actually, even to make that argument to me, that Iran's nuclear program posed such a threat to the United States 3 weeks ago that we had to launch a full-scale war against them. No one's even arguing that because it's stupid and the facts don't support it. So why did we do this when we did it? Because Israel wanted to do it. They chose the timing here. No one disputes that. And timing in war, as in life, is a lot of it, and it determines outcome. And it's They hadn't thought through what was going to happen next. The Israelis hadn't, and we hadn't, because we didn't have time to.
It sounds to me like you think he has betrayed it.
This war is clearly contrary to what he promised and contrary to the idea that your leaders should put your interests before those of foreigners, period. We put Israel's interests before ours. Trump did that. Bibi's wasn't elected president of my country. My president was. I supported him, obviously, voted for him. But yeah.
Let's talk about the way the debate develops in this country, because I think you're right. It's extremely difficult to talk about a subject that you and I have just spent the last half hour talking about, because there is a conflation very often. Anybody who criticizes Israel is vulnerable to being called anti-Zionist or anti-Semitic, and there's conflation by the exact people you've just been talking about, in the kind of firmament of political discussion.
Do you think that's a good faith response or a tactic?
I'm about to ask you that question. Clearly, I think you and I agree. We have both been critical of the Israeli government. I just want to kind of clarify terms a bit here.
Well, I've really been critical of the Israeli government.
I've been plenty critical of the Israeli government. I've told you at the beginning that we were against this war.
What do you think of Gaza?
What do I think of Gaza?
Yeah.
I think the war in Gaza, to start with, was a perfectly reasonable response in response to the horrors of October 7th. I think now the places, I mean, I've been there. Have you been to Gaza? I've been to Gaza since the war started.
They would not
it's
let
catastrophic.
me into Gaza. Trust me, very few journalists get into Gaza.
Yeah, no, I went with the IDF. It's the only way that you can go in, but nonetheless you go in and you see a flattened place. I think it is a disaster for the future of Israel, a disaster for the Palestinian people, a horror, 70,000 people dead.
Why would you describe it first as a disaster for the future of Israel? You've got tens of thousands of civilians murdered, but it's foremost a disaster for the future of Israel. No, it's foremost a disaster for the families of the dead kids.
Absolutely. I made 3 points.
Because everybody sucks up to Israel in this way that suggests they're afraid. And everyone is afraid, and you know that. Everyone's like, the real problem is calling people anti-Semites allows real anti-Semites to flourish. It's like, no, actually, the real problem with calling people anti-Semites who aren't is accusing the innocent of a crime they didn't commit. And the real crime in Gaza is killing people who did nothing wrong. So those are the real problems, I would say. But no one can say it because you have to be like, oh no, but really, October 7th.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gaza. We're having a
Everyone watching this knows what I'm talking about.
Well, let's get on to that right now.
Yeah.
Because you are critical of the government of Israel. Do you believe in Israel's right to exist? Would you consider yourself a Zionist in that narrow definition?
What does that mean, a right to exist?
The existence of the political state of Israel as
but
it has
a right. What does that mean?
That you think it should continue in its existence as a state right now. So you do not agree with Iran, for example.
Well, let me just ask, since you asked me the question, it's fair for me to get you to define the term so I can answer it. You've asked 2 questions. The first was, do you believe Israel has a right to exist? And the second question was, do you believe Israel should continue to go on as a nation state? And those are very different questions. So I often hear the phrase,
having been created as a political entity in 1948,
does it have a right to exist? Is that what you're asking?
I don't want to get hung up on the right. Should it continue to exist? That's how I define narrowly Zionism.
Because the phrase you used was devised by the Israeli government. Of course, does it have a right to exist? And so my question to you would be, what does that mean?
Why don't you answer my question? It's a very simple question.
I don't know what your question is. Are you asking, does it have a right to exist, or do I want it to exist? Do I seek its destruction?
Fine, answer it that way.
Well, of course I don't seek its destruction. I've already said, as you know, because I said it to you, I don't want Israel to be destroyed or have to use nuclear weapons.
We've established that you are in that narrow terms of Zionist. If that's how
I'm in no sense a Zionist. I don't want any country to be destroyed at all, and I don't want people to die, particularly ones who committed no crime, because I don't believe in killing innocents, period. That's the basis of Western civilization. Eastern civilization is a whole different view. They believe in collective punishment. I don't.
So you're in no sense a Zionist?
I don't even know what that means. Why don't you define the term, and then I'll tell you whether I am.
I've just defined it.
What's
you said that a Zionist, in my narrow term, this definition is that the state of Israel, the political state of Israel, has the right to continue existing.
The right? Where does that right come from? What do you mean? These are I'm not being a lawyer about it. I just want to know what you're asking me.
You answer the question.
Because I don't know what you're asking me.
Let's go to the
Wait, no. I think a lot. You don't want to define your question, and I don't know why. I don't know what you're asking me. I've already said I don't want Israel to be destroyed. I don't want anyone to be killed. And you've said, does Israel have a right to exist? Does it have my question is, what right are you talking about? Does Britain have a right to exist? Does the United States have a right to exist?
There was a world order built up after 1945 which suggested that aggression should not be condoned into countries. That countries with borders have the right to continue.
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Which is why the first thing that Israel did within 2 weeks of this war starting, which is supposedly existential for them, was take southern Lebanon, take someone else's country, as they have done repeatedly, And no one even mentions that. And so I guess I would be opposed to that because I think Lebanon has a right to exist. I thought Gaza had a right to exist. But I noticed that as soon as we started apportioning rights, only one country gets them.
No, I did not say that. You're absolutely putting words into my mouth.
So because I believe, here's what I do believe, since you asked. I believe in universally applicable standards. And if they're not universally applicable, they're not standards, they're preferences. That's why I believe in human rights, not ethnic rights. I don't think Jews have more rights or less rights than anyone else. I don't think Christians have more rights or less rights, blacks, Filipinos. I believe in human rights that derive from the creation of people by God.
This is why I like Tucker, because a lot of people can be like, yeah, why is he over-exaggerating that maybe? But I love the fact that he catches certain things from these individuals, like it's a devastation for Israel. No, it's devastating firstly for the families that were unalived, not for the state of Israel. Yeah, I love the fact that he caught her on that. Again, this lady, she's from the UK. She again, she's an interesting individual, like Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, in the beginning, you know, straight after October 7th, yeah, they have the right to defend themselves. Yeah, basically egging them on. And then obviously now he's completely done a whole 180. But they can't do a full 180 because at the end of the day, Piers Morgan always says that he is, you know, he's the boss, etc. Look, let's not play that game. I read somebody in the comments saying, yeah, you know, they must have something on Trump for him to do all of this. This is one of the strongholds of Israel. They have a lot of things on a lot of people. 100%. 100%. Love Tucker. He's going hard at the moment. But yeah, Tucker's great, man. Tucker's great. Tucker admits that in the past, he himself said that in the past he didn't. So he made mistakes with regards to his stance on certain things, and he's publicly said this. So it's not a shame for somebody to realize that they've made a mistake and possibly apologize for that. You know, that to me is a true individual that is sincere. You know, we need to learn to apologize, accept our mistake, and you know, just better ourselves. We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. Nobody is perfect except for God. So yeah, I saw a couple people make videos talking about this, but I hate the fact that they always try and bring up his past. The guy has already moved on from this. We need to move on from it as well. At the end of the day, he's accepted he was wrong in certain things. Move on. Move on. He's doing great now. He's doing great. May God protect these people, you know. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, all of these people that are really standing for the truth against the oppressor, with the oppressed. And this is how we all should be. Against the oppressor, with the oppressed. Always. Always. Regardless of, you know, skin color, religion, regardless of their background, doesn't matter. We're all human beings at the end of the day. Let me see, somebody said that, is it? Damn, that was so loud.
Está protegido por leyes internacionales de patrimonio.
But it's still Spanish. It's still Spanish. What the hell? Okay. I'm gonna call it a night, beautiful people. It is currently 2:15 in the morning here in the UK. Tomorrow is gonna be a big live, long live. We're gonna be together for a very long time. So yeah, I'll see you guys, God willing, very soon. And I'll put it on my story in the morning when I wake up. I'm gonna go sleep now. I'll put it in my story what time I'm gonna go live, what we're gonna do. Usually the first couple hours we do our campaign and battles and you know, meeting new people, Q&As, whatever. So after that, we'll react to this video. Hopefully it's fixed by then, and then we're gonna do our true crime. Saturdays we do true crime. So Slav, thank you so much. So thank you so much. Shout out to every single one of you for tuning in. Thank you so much, guys. I just sent you something that Candace just posted on TikTok 1 hour ago. Let me see what it is. Let me see what it is.
I do want to comment and share something that I hadn't shared before. Something that
What the hell? Why is it echoing? I feel like I've seen this clip.
And share something that I hadn't shared before. Something that Charlie Kirk told me before he passed, and something that Andrew Kovac confirmed to me. Before it was, I do want to comment and share something that I hadn't shared before. Something that Charlie Kirk told me before he passed, and something that Andrew Kovac confirmed to me. Before it was announced.
Okay. I'll bring it up on the display tomorrow. I'll bring it up on the display. If you guys want me to react to something on YouTube, TikTok, just send it over to me, guys, on the main account EAB World. Please follow me on the main account EAB World as well. Follow me here on EAB World Live. We do the reactions predominantly on EAB World Live. I'm gonna try doing it tomorrow after our battles and everything. Try continuing the live on EAB World. Let's see what happens. Again, if we do get another notification, I'm done. I will never do it again on that account because I don't want to risk it, guys. The only reason why I've switched to EAB World Live is because, yeah, we're just getting too many notifications that are not great for the account. So, beautiful people, don't forget to follow me on YouTube as well. YouTube, EAB World. YouTube, you know, I'll be honest with you guys. YouTube is... everybody's got YouTube. So, yeah. It's just a little bit weird that we don't have the numbers that we had on Kick. And Kick, you need to set up an account and everything. So coming onto YouTube, I thought it would be a little bit easier for you guys. Again, the display live, the full display live is on YouTube. So let's see what happens. My aim is when I finish my lives on the main account and we're going to do reactions, for me to only do the reactions on YouTube, so I don't need to go on multiple platforms and go live, because it's difficult to like monitor chats and, you know, change a few things here, do this, do that. So, but let's see what happens. Thank you so much, guys. May God protect you all. May God guide us all. Hey, keep smiling, keep going. If we're breathing, we should be smiling, we should be thankful, we should be thanking God. And I shall see you guys, God willing, very soon. Take care, beautiful people. Bye-bye.